Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the team show. This is installment 1 of 2 of the team show this week here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. As tonight, we're going to get the extended teams. And then tomorrow, we're going to get the final teams. That's because we play on Sunday, 3:20 p.m. Carlton, Geelong, MCG. Damn, what an opportunity. Haven't felt excited for a game in a few weeks now. It's been a little dreadful to start the year, but this is going to be a fresh week, hopefully. Fresh week, fresh opportunity. And this is the team show. We are proudly brought to you by Mr. Cabinets. He's a proud sponsor of the show. 2nd year running. Anything that you need done in your kitchen, in your home, renovations, cabinets, he is your man. They are your people. A great Carlton business, great Carlton family. And yeah, looking forward to tonight, looking forward to tomorrow, and most of all, looking forward to Sunday. We've got a few things I want to get over today. I'm going to watch a few videos that I have lined up for us all. No press conference just yet, but I did find pretty cool analysis online. And if you watched, when did I refer to it? I actually don't even remember. I found an analysis of our stoppage work by Jeff White. So I want to watch that with you. We don't have to watch all of it, but we can watch some of it. We can watch some of the VFL highlights. And look, first of all, we can just chill out, hang out amongst ourselves. It is the long weekend again. So what do you guys have planned? What happens over your long weekend? And who is here? G'day, Rocco. Hello, Wog Mum in the chat. That's a fascinating username. We are ready for Sunday. I think we are. I feel like we're ready for Sunday. No doubt about it. Hello, Jay. Hello, Huss. Huss with the mail. Huss and Jay Baggers with the mail. They are the mailmen. It was, what was the mail this week? It was it's Harry in. Harry in for Lewis Young, I think, is the mail. Chad has re-signed with Sydney, only 2 years though. I think he might come back to WA. Yeah, it's great for Sydney. Wow, all the big names are starting to re-sign. What happens if all the big names just re-sign and the Saints don't actually get anybody? What happens then? Actually, those of you watching, if now that we're starting to see some of these players re-sign for their original clubs, do you have more faith or less faith in the Tom de Koning situation for Carlton? Matt, hello. Wayne, J Sports, Prod, Chills, Eric Tedelato, Fermi, you got a feeling a win on Sunday gets the freight train moving. We're hard to stop when we start. We're hard to stop when we start. It's true. The only team that can beat Carlton when Carlton is up and about is Carlton. That's how I see it. We saw Eric Tedelato. We have Jonathan Tedelato. We have Richard here. FNF. Says, good to see you back in the chat. Now that things are a little bit more positive. It's great to see your name pop up. Zonked Steel, one of the best games this round is mid-Sunday. What are the AFL doing? I don't mind it, personally. I don't mind 3:20 on a Sunday. I mean, okay, as a content creator, it's not ideal to have a game on a Sunday because you've got to squish in the fan cams, and then Monday is going to be, ratings, Blue Broad Show, almost Blues Brothers. It's just like madness. It's not ideal, but as a footy fan, I don't know. I personally don't mind afternoon weekend games earlier in the day, but each to their own. Ethan Paradisis. Hello, Ethan. Hello, Tim. Good to see you at Icon Park for the viewing session. Jojo and Bailey. Enzo, you are here. Tim, you're going to the footy tonight, tomorrow, and most importantly, Sunday. Love that for you. Hello, Eleanor. Hello, Paige Farrell. Great to see you. Do I think we will win? I'm the wrong person to ask. I've always got a feeling. Although I did have a feeling we'd lose last week, if I'm honest. I think I'm calling it a knife's edge game. Like, if we lose, it's just the usual, I knew we were shit type rhetoric. Sack everyone, maybe, depending on what the loss is like. Or maybe not, because I think Geelong has respect. But if we win, it gets the party started and the momentum going. And then you go into Adelaide after winning 3 in a row, confidence up. It's just such a different ball game, a win or a loss, in my view. To answer your question, though, sure, I think we'll win. Kobe, hey, mate. LS, keen for Catman Troy to eat some more whiskers. Oh, yeah. Oh, Wogmum in the chat is Matula. Matula. You changed your username. Oh, I can see you now. I can see you now in your photo. I think I might still call you Wogmum in the chat, though. Slobbo, good to see you. I don't know about Weeders. We'll see. I'm going to get through all these comments. By the way, as always, open up the chat to anyone who wants to come in and ask a question, bring up an issue, bring up a topic, anything at all. Would love to speak to anyone who's out there. There's the link to join. Josh, your cousin's born on Anzac Day, and that side of the family is all Essendon. So we go to my nan's and watch the game, taking my daughter to the Cats game this weekend for a first ever MCG game. Love it. Yeah. Has anyone else been to an Anzac Day game? The traditional Collingwood Essendon game? I've never been. How exciting. G'day, John. We laugh, Tim. We do. Sammy Taylor. Jen. Just want to say a big thank you for posting training videos. You're in Queensland, Sunshine Coast, Hinterland, so it means a lot. Europe, no worries. That's what they're for. That's what they're for. They're literally for those who cannot go. There weren't too many people, maybe 100, like maybe 100, maybe 150. So yeah, I think it's such a good small gesture that means so much to those who get to go to the open training sessions. And I hope the club keep doing it. I think there's a kudos that goes to whoever organised it. I'm led to believe it was Graham Wright who did call for it to happen. So long may it continue. Tommy Stain. Jay plays 23. Do I think Lockie Cowell would come in? Who would he replace? I don't think he'll come in. I don't know. If he did come in, I think he would take Matt Carroll's spot. But I don't know if he'll come in. If Tom doesn't stay, I'll crash out. I'll be pretty sad if he doesn't stay. But I would understand. Ramiro, hello. Bontempelli hasn't signed. Welcome. Come to the Blues. Wow, Bontempelli at Carlton. TDK is not going anywhere. Have the teams been leaked yet? Well, the mail that we got yesterday from the lovely boys in the chat was that it was Harry in for Lewis Young. But we'll see. Tim, you think you have less faith with TDK the longer he leaves it, the less likely he is to stay. Fair enough. Feeling it after yesterday's session, looking very good. They will seduce all of us and beat Geelong, then go on to lose the next 4 in typical Carlton fashion. Nah, I think if they beat Geelong, we win like at least another 2 in a row. Like I think if we beat Geelong, we beat Adelaide and we beat St Kilda. And then Sydney at the SCG, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Geelong's big, man. Geelong's a big game. Geelong's the confidence boost. Harry in for Young, one change, you think? You're getting smashed this round, bruz. Well, you know what, man? I've been smashed my whole life, so whatever. Nothing's different. Nothing's changed. They can't really disappoint me more than what they already have, so whatever. Enzo, you got a good feeling. Weeders and JSOS are hard to penetrate. Our mids are strong. It's going to be up to our small forwards again. Pressure and goals. Says you miss being here. Well, glad you're here. Aiden, you are now confident he will sign. He looks happy. Just look at the little vid they released this morning. You're a sucker. There's something special about the sun shining on the afternoon at the NC at the G. Hello, Jake. Good to speak to you again, mate. Hey, Albert. He looked very happy, which is good to see. Money isn't the key to happiness at times. That's true. Nathan. Hello, mate. I love the live streams too. Very relaxed this time. $12 GA tickets for Sunday if we get them before tomorrow. Oh, yeah. I might have, highly likely to have, at least 2 spare tickets for Sunday, level 1. Good seats. If you are in need, let me know. Let me know in the chat here or send me a message. I am highly likely to have at least 2. Logan, you think the TDK decision is much bigger? Will be post-buy if he resigns. Longer it goes, more likely he's gone. Maybe. Wog Mum in the chat got a good feeling all week about us winning. Oh. When we win, keep the positivity going. When we win. No party starting until our win-loss record is better than what it is now. That's fair. Hey, check out this guest where he's at. Look at this. This is elite. Paolo.
Hey.
What are you doing, mate?
I got work.
Shit.
Yeah, have a look. I thought I'd try to visualise the win on Sunday. I've come down to the bay that I usually sit in, M52, in the Olympic stand before Melbourne and Richmond, so we can visualise a win on Sunday. How are you? How's the chat? How's everybody?
Yeah, we're good. I'm kind of marveling a little bit at that backdrop. You got the love heart in the sky with the aeroplane thing that's got going on. It's all happening.
It's picturesque, isn't it? These grandstands are going to be packed come 3:20 on Sunday. Good that we what's happened should happen. We won our last 2, and hopefully we get a big crowd on Sunday afternoon, mate. That's going to be our edge, I think. That's one way we're going to beat Geelong. So be loud, be very, very loud. So fingers crossed, eh?
What are your confidence levels about whether or not we can do it and how we do it?
I just look back at the game last year, to be honest. That's what I'm pinning my hopes on. That there's maybe a little bit of mental fortitude that we can gain from that game, and not so much confidence, but evidence that we can do it against one of the very best teams over the last 10 to 15 years. So they've obviously added a bit in since that game, and we've maybe lost our way a little bit since then. But I do think Harry back gives us a bit of a lift with regards to the spirits. So the roar that he's going to get when he touches the ball for the first time is going to be brilliant, I think. So, and it has to be at our home game as well. So look, it's the one thing I said coming into this game was I just want to walk to this game through the Fitzroy Gardens with just a little bit of a pep, on the way to the game with winning form, our home game, a big crowd on a Sunday afternoon, primetime footy, another special occasion.
Yep. Did you see the video? You did see the video I recently just reposted. Maybe one of the happiest times of our recent memories. Obviously, we played, finals footy, but what do you remember about what made Carlton so good when we were at our best last year, the last time we beat the Cats?
Oh, you see, and I think it's always referenced that overlap run, that helping your teammate out, not just getting rid of the ball, but then following up your initial handball or your initial kick and providing support, running ahead of the ball as well. And look, we had a full allotment then, didn't we? Charlie was firing, Harry was firing, our midfield was firing, Walsh was in really good form, the Koning was in fantastic form, Wiedering was looking amazing, and then all those players just started to, unfortunately, peter off or get injured in the back end of the season. And I think that's why the start of this season has been so frustrating, because those players have, aside from maybe Harry, been there, and we haven't seen that type of football yet. Not against a really good opposition for a patch. So I think back to that game against Geelong that night last year when we flogged them, it was hard not to get excited and think about premiership glory at that particular point in time. But as we know with this game and life, it humbles you pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It does.
You think you're on top of the world, and then you know what? You look back at it and you look at reality and you think, oh God, it was not even 3/4 of the way through the season. What are we on about? And then, amazingly, sneaking under the radar, Geelong get within a kick of a grand final after all of that. And Chris Scott says, up to that point in time, that was the most powerful team and most powerful opposition display he'd faced. And I think that's where my frustration stems from, is that they can do it, but I think a lot of the fury behind it is, why can they not do it for long enough? Why is there a disconnect in the first part of the season when you showed what you can do last season? And that's, I think, it's probably not just frustrating for us outside of the club, but it's probably frustrating for the players and coaches as well. And they've got to try and figure out solutions, and that's why they're paid the dollars to. So we can only sit here and analyse what we analyse and try to push them forward. But I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes from, is that we've seen them. How many teams beat Geelong by nearly 70 points?
Not many. Not like that.
Not many. Not that was a display of brutality. And everyone says, oh, we haven't got that killer blow or that killer. I think we have it. It's in there, but it's just about extricating it. And it's probably up to the coach to a certain point to get it out of these players. And that's why I was really happy with what he said after the West Coast game, where Bossy said, I should be smiling, but I'm not. And that's why I wasn't miserable after that loss to West Coast. But it's like, hey, are we really stooping down to the level of being like, just celebrate a win. It's a win now. That's all we need. That's not the level. That's not the standard.
True.
We've got to look at greater picture as well. Having said that, you do have to look at game by game. But I'm actually looking forward to Sunday, because it could have been a lot worse. We could have been in a scrap with North. We could have been in a scrap with West Coast. We probably, in the past, we might have lost one of those games. So now they're in this little month block. We've gone 2 from 2 in this 4-game block that we need to hopefully win all 4 games in, and we'll see how we go on Sunday.
Team changes. You did refer to Harry. Is that what you think will happen?
I think so. I think it'll only be the one change. I know. I was just looking through Twitter. Apparently, Mitch Cleary has said that Wiedering was still a bit sore, but I think he did cop a knee to his leg, that's not going to tickle. And from what you were saying, he didn't train on Wednesday. He didn't train yesterday fully. He was out there.
As in, he did run-throughs on the side.
Okay, right.
And was very, just a sore boy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he's probably bruised and banged up. That's all.
Yeah.
Which is, can he play through that? I would back him to. I mean, the club on the injury report said expected to play. Whatever that means. So that those are the only 2. If Wiedering goes down, it's probably Young goes down back, and I don't know who. Maybe Cowan comes back in. Is that the change that they go with
at training? He was moving freely at training.
How do you go from 4 to 6 weeks to? That's a strange one. That. Oh, look,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
They've got better judgment than us when it comes to these things. So, I think those are the only 2. I don't think there's no one you can replace on form, mate. Was Elijah? Was that just more managed manage him through that game? Or was he
I
subbed
think
off
so.
because you thought, he wasn't really involved, was he? But they did throw him into a centre bounce or two on the odd occasion. So, plus, you got to get your touch back as well.
We were talking about him on the ratings show. Pommy made the analogy of, when you play video games online and like it lags, you're on like a server from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I think Elijah was just lagging a bit, and it's just touch with him. And hopefully one more game gets his timing back.
I think that's the case. We know he's a very, very good footballer. He makes our team a lot better. And I think just quietly you talk about that mid to forward connect. He's someone that, do you know, if you notice him last year, he was a player that snuck under the radar with his intercept possessions. He got himself into the right spots defensively, whether or not that's because the opposition might inadvertently kick to you or that's actually because of your smart positioning. He's one of those players that can get it going the other way for us with his defensive running too. So he's a very, very important player. And I think he's made for this kind of stuff. He's made for this background. He's that type of player, mate. He's Eli.
Something about the G, isn't there? It brings something else out.
Here, have a look. Best job in the world, mate.
Amazing. Who you got tonight?
Best job in the world. Hey?
Who you got tonight?
Who have we got tonight? What do we got? Melbourne, Richmond, and then doing all the post game for AFL Nation. So call up, text through. Melbourne to win by 5 goals.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I think Richmond had they got Gold Coast away, which is, everyone wants Gold Coast on the road, and then they got us in the first game. So
make it make sense.
Form, is it? It's not the best form, is it? So no, I think this will be a good game because both teams come off a win, and hopefully the Demon supporters actually rock up for their club this time. That'd be nice. So they're not like us, mate. They're not a club like us, mate. They're not like us. What is it? The Aliti.
The Aliti. Well, you know what?
There's none of that tonight, mate.
We can go from, we're volatile, let's be honest. We can go from it's all over to, if we win this week, it's on.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of fandom. That's the beauty of following our club. That's the beauty of following sport. It's opposite ends of the spectrum, whether win, lose, or draw. So that's why we love it, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we love
it. Just got to get back on the horse.
Oh, exactly. Exactly right. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go and get some more blue baggers on and enjoy the rest of the night. Hopefully it's good team news and hopefully Wiedering gets up for this match. And if not, well, we'll have to win without him, won't we?
Yeah.
No excuses on Sunday, mate.
Absolutely, mate.
Have a great night. Good weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Don't lose.
Oh, chat. Is the stream cooking it? You're joking. I did see your comments while I was talking to Paul. I don't know what's happening. We had a pretty solid stream last night. I don't know what's happening. I wish I had the answers. I run through StreamYard. StreamYard looks to be fine. Touch wood, no connection issues. But I have heard of YouTube issues. Is it fixed? Like, have you found a solution? Jay, I do watch basketball, mate. Big basketball fan. Basketball was one of my first loves. It was Paul working. It's working fine now. Really? Maybe it was the MCG. Interesting. Hello, Damien. He keeps dropping out every 20 or so seconds, been steady since Paul has gone. Okay. That's really interesting. How did Nick Newman go with the training session? He was out there. He started doing very light individual drills, which I think is a positive sign. But there was a report today that came out suggesting that he's on track for maybe an early return. But we'll see. Still a long way to go. Cowan would take Haynes' spot based off the team structure we have seen. Maybe. I'd prefer to see Cowan a little bit more free, playing the way Matt Carroll plays. Luca. I hope that we can get most of our players contracted, mainly Tom, but a few others. Historically, we tend to sign players after the bye, though. That is true. There is a lot of TDKs out socials. Would someone who is leaving do all of these collabs? It's a good point. It's a good point. We are a vibes team, so lift the vibe. I literally said this. I was speaking to Pommy earlier today. I'm like, it's like the data points to Geelong winning. And Geelong are a better team than Carlton right now. No question about it. But if the vibes are right, the Blues can get the job done based off the vibes. That's just who we are. Boyd has to play, Tim. Josh, you respect no team in the comp more than the Cats. Beating them means a lot to you. Yeah. Yeah, it's not sinister. It's respect. And I think Geelong know that. Jim, we are winning this week. We ain't getting smashed. Going to be doing the smashing. I'd love to see it, man. The DeConing brothers battle again. Do you think do you think they'll run it back? I don't think they'll run it back. I don't think Sam will be in the ruck against Tom again. Tom's a better player now than what he was in round 15. Speaking of, I've got some of the fan cams lined up from that night if you want to see them. Just saying. Georgina, it was great to meet you yesterday. It truly was. Always good to see those of you who watch the shows in real life. Thank you very much for being a member as well, Georgina. And anyone else out there who would like to become a member of Blue Abroad, I've got a link pinned to the top of the live chat if you'd like to become a member. That's the annual link. If you would prefer to pay monthly, you can also do that. I'll put that in here for you. Gives you access to, well, first of all, support the channel. Secondly, gets you access to every single giveaway, which I'm going to make a little deal. If Carlton beat Geelong on Sunday, then the Silvani 99 warm-up jacket goes up for giveaway. This one. It's the matching tracksuit. It's the jacket and the pants matching. But we have to beat Geelong. And it'll go up when we play St Kilda. That'll be the night that we draw it out. So, yeah, you can become a member there. Get access to every giveaway. Jared, any chance, Pito? Maybe. Potentially. Frankie, TDK smiling for the camera with Rob Priestley with a gun to his back. That's it. Smile and wave. You love the Blues. $12 is expensive. Decrease it to $5 plus a free bobblehead. Get 90K down there. If they're releasing $12 general admission tickets, does that mean that people aren't buying tickets as much as what they would have hoped? I'm thinking this will be 80, 85,000 people. No? Like, what do you guys think? Petra, you're more worried about the Crows than the Cats. Jojo and Bailey, you would love the tickets. Okay. Okay, I'm falling very behind. I'm falling very behind. Okay, this was when From Paul was on. All right, let me catch up. Let me catch up. This was 3 minutes ago. Is it his internet? I don't think so. It looks like my internet's fine from my end. Question. It's all good. Stream's all good. Okay. Hello, Julie. Great to have you here. Okay, it's fixed. It was super glitchy, but all good now. Oh, that was 3 minutes ago. Huss with the mail in. Harry out, young sub, Doc or Lord. All right. Well, if Doc's a sub, that means that's another in. Still buffering? Really? Oh, yeah. It's the most rare item I've ever come across. Like, you just won't be able to find that anywhere else. Mitch Cleary has said that Jacob Wiedering is a doubt because of his knee. Am I reading too much into that? Yes, you are. He's sore, which I think we all thought he was going to be sore. But, yeah. Now it's working on your phone, but not your PC. How to get hold of all the Silvani gear? I was very fortunate. Ben reached out and he sent me this. This was a rug that was on his floor in his bedroom as a kid growing up. So they were going to throw it all out. And so lucky Ben reached out and offered it up to someone who would appreciate it. And yeah, got a whole bunch of gear, and I've given a few items away. This one is the holy grail. There's no doubt about that, because it's worn. There's actually like a grass stain on the pants. So yeah, very lucky. They wanted to give it back to the Carlton people. And for me, I mean, I can collect all these items, but the items to me don't give me as much value as what I know a lot of you would find. Items come and go. People have donated items for giveaways and things like that. So, yeah. Wait, the Blues are releasing more bobbleheads. Surely this means a win on the way. I don't know if they are. I don't know if I've got a new bobblehead. The only thing making me nervous is the 95 team being there. I sent you 2 key rings. Yes, I need to follow that up, actually. Internet is junk at the G. Is the internet, is this stream still cooking it? What is going on? I don't know what's happening. Could someone still stop calling my landline? I think StreamYard. It could be. I don't think so. Could be. I usually get a signal in my top left corner here where it tells me if the connection's no good. I don't have that signal. We need to get this fixed. That's what we need to do. Okay, working for you now on your phone and Android TV. Wait, is Terry frozen? What is happening? Hello, Christina. It keeps freezing. Started again. Thai internet. You know, if I was living in Thailand, I'd have better internet than Australia. Buffering is very bad. Okay, I'm unfrozen. You have me on the iPhone, but buffering on the TV. Is Huss the guy who brought in the accurate mail before? Yes, he is. Apparently, you need to watch on delay. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. This hasn't happened for me much. Not this consistently. So I do apologize for it. Steve, you want this so bad. We need it. We do. I feel this, mate. I truly do. Political advertising on YouTube. Yeah, I've seen a few comments here. I don't pick the ads, by the way. The ads that you see on any YouTube channel are not selected by the YouTube channel owner. I basically hit on or off, and YouTube does its thing. Rewinding the stream and watching it on 60-second delay seems to fix it. It's not buffering. It is buffering. It's not buffering. It is buffering. I don't know what to tell you guys. I want to watch some of this analysis from Jeff White, and I'm scared it's going to ruin. The stream is more cooked than the Ruse season. You think it's the reception signal through the internet? Could be. I mean, I'll have to look into it. I don't even know where I would start. Load a new extended stream. Tez usually works. What is happening here? All good. All good. I only just loaded in, so maybe that's why. Stream all good for the last 5 minutes. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Enzo Valentino, welcome to Blue Abroad membership, mate. Welcome. Might need to go on Twitch. Oh, I do like Twitch. I love YouTube, though. Don't tell me this is the beginning of the end. Stream's all good. It was buffering on the jumper punch on Tuesday also. We are back to dial up. Stream is fine for those with non-potato internet. The picture on the internet is not high definition on the TV 100%. I don't think it's your fault. You can control, but my iPhone is okay. All right. Hello, Joel. What are people's thoughts about Sauce not attending the 30-year celebration? Well, let me see if this link works. If anyone wants to jump in again, let me see if that works. Joel, if you want to jump in, we can have this. Chat. I spoke about this the other night. I think there is a dark hole that needs to be patched up, and that is the relationship between the Silvani family and the Carlton Football Club. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what the details are of the story on either side, but I think at some point, forgiveness is the answer. There is likely to be valid arguments on both sides of the conversation. And I just think it's a dark spot that we haven't fixed that relationship yet. And I hope that we can do that sooner rather than later. Damo. Apparently he's going to be all right to go. We will see. Eleanor, you're back. Aiden, you're back. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Traffic affects the NBN, but they don't admit it. Seems to be okay. No, stream is more cooked than the AFL tribunal's decision-making process. I don't know, man. All right, seems to work. You watched the Jeff White video today. Really interesting and informative. I want to watch it. Okay, it's fine. It's not you, it's me. What the hell is Twitch? Twitch is a live streaming platform. You just do live streams. I just think this is a little patch. Joel, you agree? You don't know everything that went down with Sauce in the club, so it's hard to take sides. Yeah. Biffa, good morning from sunny England. How do you feel about Carlton only wearing the Anzac Day badge and not a special Anzac Day Guernsey? I haven't really thought about that. I don't mind. I don't know. I didn't expect anything else. I mean, they're bringing out the blue out Guernsey this week. So, yeah, I don't personally mind. I think the key to signing the Saints is signing TDK is smashing the Saints. So he doesn't want to leave his mates and play for a team of losers. Yeah. Could the divide between Sauce and the Blues be cursing Carlton like sacking Norm Smith did to Melbourne? That's a new theory. That's a very new theory. Liam Stocker did have a Twitch channel. Damien, it's all on Sunday. Come on, Carlton fans. Let's get there loud and big numbers. This could be season-changing, defining game. It could be season-defining. Are we wearing the blue-out jumper this week? No, I think we're wearing it against the Bombers. Is that right? I think that's what we're doing. All right. What I want to do is I want to try and watch some of this footage from a channel called First Use, right? So I'm going to link it in the live chat here. So this is Jeff White. This is Jeff White. Well, I can see. I mean, I look fine here. Anyway, this is Jeff White's YouTube channel, and basically he started doing this on Twitter recently, and he basically just goes through every team and their center bounce stoppage setups and just unpacks it. And I think there's a bit of education here that we can take from this. So I want to play. I watched half of it. I want to watch some of this. One second. All right. I want to share my screen. I hope this doesn't mess with the stream, but we will see. Maybe I can move my head here. Hang on. What if I do that? Oh, maybe if I put my head here. There we go. Look at this.
So what I like about this is that as a midfielder, you've got to watch where the opposition ruck, especially if you're a sweeper. If your role is a sweeper, you've got to read the opposition ruck. Really important to watch their chest. And I've spoken about this before. Wherever their chest goes, they tend. Sometimes you come up like a DeConey who can flick it in different positions, and that's quite hard to read. But as you'll see in this video with DeConey, he has a couple of tricks and how they set up. You can actually read it. But the big fellas like Sherry, like Briggs, you got to watch their chests. They don't flick it around too much. They're really, really quite predictable in hitting it in front of them in that area. So I love what the Carlton player does here. So I'll run through the tape and I'll just show you how it unfolds. It comes up. Look where he's facing. Sherry, that is. He's facing out towards the wing. So he's in a dead area. He can possibly get it, and he definitely can't get it because unless he tries to hit it forward, really in no man's land. But really good reaction here from, I think it's Chera, I think. The ability to get onto it and read the tap. Bang, hits it forward and straight onto it. So as I was saying before, when the blocker starts this far off for the Carlton player, starts this far off, that's a clear indication that they're going to come at the ball. So in this circumstance, it's really hard as a blocker, as I was saying before, when you want to push your opponent this way, depending on what tram lines you have as the receiver, because it's easy for them to zone off. If they're here right on the line as a blocker, it happens so fast. This North Melbourne player doesn't have time to react. But it's easy to react when you're this far back off the line. So when this actually happens and you've got space, that's a clear indication that the Carlton player is going to come this way to receive. And then in that situation, then it opens up for these Carlton players to come off and receive. So when this happened several times on the game on the weekend, Hewitt was always coming at it. And that's exactly what happens in this situation. There he is there. So when he gives himself space and he comes at it as the blocker, that's when you know it's hitting forward, and that's when he becomes in a receiving position. Right, this gets called up. This bounce goes out, then the umpire calls it back and throws it up. But when you look at this setup, it's quite an attacking setup. DeConey is a left-hander. So that means, look at all this space that is free. And I can't believe North didn't pick this up. So if Sherry wings it, and what have I said? He's facing this way. That's perfect because Carlton's got representation here, so they can affect that. But if DeConey wins it, North are stuffed. Absolutely stuffed. And that's exactly what happens in this situation. So the bounce gets called back, but I'll show you how the play unfolds. Right, so the ball gets called back and the umpire throws it up. But look here, this space. So DeConey hits it. If Sherry wins it, Carlton's onto it, especially if he hits it in this area. But see how Cripper's blocking for this space? If DeConey wins it, left-handed, away they go. And Cripper ends up getting it as the blocker. So once again, George Hewitt set up.
I watched that video. I think it's brilliant. He obviously played the game, played at the highest level. And if you want to watch the whole video, go for it. If you want to watch more of it, I can put it on. I can put on more of it. I'm just mindful of watching too much of it. But yeah, really cool insight. He actually does it. Actually, let me go to his channel. He does it for all the teams. I think he's just started doing this properly. So yeah. Does he have Geelong? No, it doesn't have anything about Geelong. Oh, hang on. Geelong centre bounce versus Adelaide round 5. Let's do that. Let's have a look at what he says about
Geelong. In
Geelong.
today's video, I'm going to go through Geelong's centre bounce clearances from last night. Even though Adelaide and Geelong were even at the clearances, it was the impact that Geelong had out of the centre bounce. And I'm going to show you how they set up their structure, particularly against O'Brien. They obviously went in knowing that he was going to win a majority of the hitouts. So I'm going to show you how they set their structure up to give that the way they set up. So let's look at the screen. So Adelaide's going right of screen. I believe Geelong went in with a mindset that O'Brien was going to win majority of the hitouts. So,
which I think they will do. I think they will think similar this week.
The problem you have there from Adelaide's point of view is that when O'Brien's trying to win the hitouts, he's hitting to actually 6 mids because you've got 3 Geelong players actually reading his tap. So when you go in, it's not a negative. It's actually a great strategy from Geelong because what you're actually putting in place is the ability to try and win it. You would have noticed, I noticed when I look back at the revision, Geelong set up with this triangle format. So there was a lot of one-on-one, but what they were trying to do was trying to make sure that they covered all the exits. But most importantly, when you go through the clips here, and I'll show you, with Adelaide going right of screen, Geelong players were always on the goal side. So at no point were they on this side. This particular clip where Rankin starts here, and Atkins, who played an awesome game, he had 9 clearances. I thought he was unbelievable last night, particularly in and under, and I'll show a few clips of what he does. But in that situation, he actually pushed Rankin into the play and was still on goal side. So this is a really good tactic from Geelong. So this is the first centre bounce of the game, and then it goes into a stop play. This was just how it unfolded for the rest of the night. So, and they just hunted the ball. They wanted it more. Bailey Smith was unreal, and then you put Max Holmes in there with his dash, and then obviously Dangerfield. So look at that. He's on goal side. He's on goal side. So Adelaide's going right of screen. That's how they set up all night. They didn't want to let the ball go forward. So it was so basically what they're doing is Geelong are pushing the ball towards their way, but they're also saying to O'Brien, hey, you try and hit it forward and we're going to shark it. But they went in, obviously, the mindset that he was going to hit it basically backward of centre, if you're going to call it. So what I liked about this was position players coming off the square from Geelong's perspective. So coverage on the backside. So that meant that in this situation, if I'm a ruck or O'Brien thinking that they're mainly set up on this side, I'll hit it back. But that's where the coverage comes into play. So he hits it forward, manner. So once again, goal side, goal side, goal side. So they're basically saying to O'Brien, hey, you try and hit it forward, we've got you covered. So basically, in a way, they're saying, hey, O'Brien's then going, okay, well, they're goal side. Well, I'm just going to have to push it back. That body work. While the ball's in the air, that's where you do your work. So once again, Adelaide's going right of screen. Goal side, goal side. So now Riley Phil.
Fascinating stuff. I don't know how that's going to look on Sunday. And our midfield is very different in the style of players that we have to what the Crows have. But let's see. See what that looks like. He played for Freo. Yeah, did he? Jeff White? Played for the D's, right? Jeff, he did. Wow, he did play for Freo. He played for Freo more than what I thought. '95, '96, '97. Ah, okay. And then he went to Oh, I didn't know he started at Freo. Then he went to Melbourne from '98 until he retired, which was 2008. He played 268 games. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was like a star ruck of the comp at one point. No? Yeah, go to his channel and subscribe. He's got 1.41. I reckon we can get him at least 100. At least. Go on and subscribe to him. I'll put the link in here again. Yeah. I think you guys have already done that. You dare Geelong to put Sam De Koning in the ruck. Yeah. Same. Okay, top 5 ruckman. Maybe not a star, but he was good. He was good. I mean, 268 games is fairly solid. MN, you already subbed to him. It's great. He was a number 1 pick. Was he? I'm learning more and more about him. Jeff White, AFL. Draft. He was the number 1 pick in the 1994 draft. No, this guy is a star. Good on him. I was 3 years old when he got drafted. It's wild. Yeah, played in a tough area to be number 1. Absolutely. Yeah, no, get around it. I love it. I love when I see, yeah, okay, he's already on 1.42 subscribers. So get around him. Get around Jeff White. And you know what I'll do? I'll link the video if you want to go and watch it, the video that we just watched, so you can watch the rest of it. That's the video right there. Drop him a comment. Just let him know. We're here from the Blue Abroad Team Show. That actually makes me think. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels that you binge on? Like, what content do you watch, whether it's footy or not? Like, what's when you go down your YouTube rabbit holes, what are you watching? Oi. Look who it is. Hello, mate.
You've also done Jeff a massive injustice. He's got his son Kalani coming through this year.
Has he just? Is he also a ruck?
He's a ruck forward, 198. He's a monster, is Kalani.
Is he? Where do you project?
He pinch hits in the ruck. Part of Sons Academy, can play for Melbourne as well. Got a few options as the young lad.
Where would he go in the open market with no ties to any club, do you think?
It's a weird one, this draft already, because like we've got that kind of like almost, it's already starting to have very similar types of players. So with him being a key, I would say inside the top 50.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a project for you. I mean, he's a nice size, 198.
Got a cool name too, Kalani White.
Sexy, isn't it? Sexy.
I think more people like Jeff White should be creating YouTube channels and just owning their own content. I was really pleased for him to see it.
To be fair, if you ever go and watch Jeff's content, it's quite funny because usually within 12 hours,
yeah,
David King will do almost word for word the same analysis.
Oh.
Not saying David King steals the analysis, but I am.
How much do you think the journos are scouring the content on YouTube and everywhere for some narratives? Like genuinely.
Without being arrogant, I would say in the last 2 weeks, there's been at least 6 articles within 24 hours of what I've said being identical in statistics, 3 of which from your show.
Yeah.
So I reckon quite a bit, bruh.
It was funny. I mentioned to, when did I mention? Oh, with you, Jack Silvani. When does the contract offer come? And then 24 hours later, Jack Silvani's contract status is an article.
It's almost too routine. It's almost too clockwork. Do you know what I mean? It's almost too clockwork at times. It's quite funny as well. It happens as well. I've noticed Dylan Alexander as well because he's doing some early type draft content. His last 2 videos have been articles within 24 hours, almost word for word.
Yeah, wow.
So I kind of see it quite quickly, but it's quite funny.
Yeah. Hey, what's your not guilty pleasure? What do you like? What do you binge on YouTube that isn't necessarily footy content?
A lot of ghost shows, but
Ghost
at the
shows?
moment, yeah, ghost supernatural things like real investigations. I enjoy that. JL, if something geeky and completely you wouldn't expect, a guy called JLK.
Yeah.
He plays a game that I play quite a lot called DayZ, which is a zombie survival open world game. And he does a lot of unscripted storylines of that, where him coexisting with other people playing that game, betrayals and stuff. They're about 2-3 hours. They're like movies. He condenses them into movies. I watch him quite a bit as well.
Interesting. I went through a phase where I would watch. Do you know Tim the Tatman and Nick Merckx? They play Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
I would watch them religiously, and then they stopped making Warzone content. I don't know why. I just love it. UFC. I went through this really interesting phase not long ago where debates about Christianity and Jesus were coming up on my homepage, and I was like watching the debates of atheism and atheism versus Christians, and it was all just like Christians debating with Jews and Jews debating with Muslims, and I found that really interesting. But I'm kind of back on the UFC train and back onto Tim the Tatman. Love it.
Yeah, I like all sorts of weird stuff, to be honest. with us homeschooling the kids, we're doing a big thing on Anzacs at the minute. They've got a project due to me tomorrow afternoon that I'm going to be judging. But I've been watching a lot of YouTube Anzac World War II docos with the kids as well. My YouTube algorithm's cooked.
Yeah. Do you put, when you're raising the boys, do you place, like, how much emphasis do you place on them understanding about the Anzacs and just war and things like that?
I think World War II particularly is probably the ultimate character builder for someone to learn from three sides. You've got, one guy with a harebrained idea. Do you know what I mean? And how easy it is to submit an entire nation into believing over years of propaganda. You've got, the hero, the small nation standing up to the might of it. You've got so much. So when we do history, I think it's very important, especially Australian history. It's probably the worst taught subject I've ever seen. Bearing in mind, I did 6 months in German schools, and World War II is kind of like, 1933, this Austrian dude comes on. And then we're into 1946, and we're split up into 3 nations. And you're like, hang about, boys. Did you forget you did something in that period? So I think it's important that you actually learn the true history as well from both sides. And I think nowadays you've got that wonderful fascination that we can, especially with the war at the minute, we can actually find the German side quite easily, which we got in the UK quite a bit, their tale of events, the POM's tale of events. Because history is written by the victor, isn't it? But I think that's always a cop-out. Always a cop-out, because you can also find other things. Do you know what I mean? You can also find other things and little gambits out there. David asked me a question actually the other day, which I didn't get the lesson that I could teach him when I was at school. But how do you make people believe them kind of things like Adolf did? And that's quite a hard question. Do you know what I mean? Quite a challenging question, isn't it? How do you make someone believe that?
How old is he again?
David, he's 10 this year. He's our little Vegemite.
Wow. That's a deep question for a 10-year-old.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's crazy, though, isn't it, if you think about it? Because when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet, so it kind of was even more fascinating. Like nowadays, it's even more unlikely, isn't it? Because, like, Britney Spears can fart in a public toilet and it's on Twitter. So, like, hiding something that astronomical in 2025 is almost impossible, isn't it? But you've got to, like, put his mind in 1930. Do you know what I mean? Where technology was word of mouth.
True. As a kid, especially, an 8-year, from the age of when you know how to use a device, there aren't just 4 or 5 channels for you to consume media. It's unlimited. It's quite scary, actually.
Tell you what is scary, though. If you ever go on YouTube and you type in anything World War II related, if you get onto like page 3 or 4 and you like conspiracy theories, be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared, because there is some absolute crazy conspiracies around. Something that is heavily documented. It's crazy, like, honestly. But they're good to watch. I love showing my kids, like, Flat Earth. Someone mentioned Flat Earth. We did science. We did that in science, the solar systems, and that was one of the things we watched. Flat Earth is brilliant to teach kids because sometimes it looks flat. It's logical it's flat. But then you can go and quite easily prove it's not flat just from the comfort of your own house. Do you know what I mean? But it's about, that seeing, but then also testing, part of science, observing, but then testing the observation.
Yeah, right.
So that was really cool. We actually watched a Flat Earth and it was fascinating because David at first was like, yeah, this makes sense. And I'm like, oh no, I've turned him into a flat earther.
Do you remember early days YouTube? And I mean like year 1, year 2 of YouTube?
I was more of a Vine boy.
Wow, that's OG TikTok. Yeah, was that 7-second videos?
Yeah. I was a big Vine boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love the stupid videos and stuff like that.
That was TikTok before TikTok, man.
Mate, it was better, I actually think, because people just did it for the love of the game, didn't they? It was for the love of the game.
Yeah. Damn, man. Yeah. Those were the days, mate. Infrared. Infrared before Bluetooth.
Mate, they were the days, weren't they? Yeah, it was actually funny because I remember, like, because David's got into his music as well, so he uses Spotify quite a bit, and I was like trying to tell him that when I was a kid, you had tapes, and then like very early, this is how old I am, Napster, LimeWire, and I was like, there was nothing better than destroying your family computer, downloading LimeWire.
Yeah.
Like the old days.
The old days. Shit, man. We're so developed. We're so developed. We're still so underdeveloped. Actually, we're going backwards as a developed species, I think. But that's another conversation. Anyway. Mate, the Blues vibes. I reposted that video of us on the fan cams from round 15 last year. What happened?
Feels like ages ago, doesn't it? I did enjoy you showing me that. I did enjoy you going at lunchtime today, just flicking through, and Terry's there, like, it's tangible, Terry. I can taste it. I can lick it.
Do you know? You don't understand what was going through my mind in that moment because I believed you, because I believed it.
I believed you. It's my fault. Cheers, Pom.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Nah. Can we find it again?
Mate, the wonderful thing when you lose something is that the only option is you either make something better, don't you, while you find it?
Yeah.
They're the only two things you do. So all you got to do, or you give up, isn't it? But I mean, let's not give up. I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you go back to them days, and are we playing much different to now? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? Manic front half pressure. Try and lock it in early. I think some of the complaints was the same, weren't they? Ball use, things like that. So, I mean, I think you've just got to understand this is our game style, and it needs to work very well. So, like, the last 2 weeks, not too dissimilar to that Geelong game. Opposition different, obviously, but that was kind of the benchmark of how we played football, wasn't it?
Yeah. What does your analysis of the game tell you about what to expect? Is your preview out?
Tomorrow. I do it after the teams, so I can do a little bit thing. You know what? Look, I'll treat you. We can have a look at this. Look, we made some new graphics today.
Ooh.
Made some new graphics, so we've got a little bit of a play around. Which folder are they in? Dun, dun, dun. Where is it? We're game 9, aren't we?
Be very careful.
Hey, mate, none of that here. I don't label my dodgy stuff work stuff, mate. If you make us slightly smaller, I think you've got a small one.
Yeah, I do. Right there. Oh, hang on. Let me fix this. Stand by. We'll go. Yeah, we'll go there.
So yeah, these are some of the main stats our algorithm works. It likes these kind of like little data points. So you've got like your stoppage differential. Probably my favorite one at the minute that I'm playing around with. Up at the top, disposals per shot. I like to call it my fuck around stat.
I like that.
Because genuinely, when you look at teams, there's a lot of teams that F around with it, and you can actually see it. So for a point of reference, teams like Magpies are 13.9 touches to generate a shot goal. Suns are 11.6. Adelaide are quite low, 14.4. And then you look at teams that are very ball retentive, who put their pressure in areas like stoppage and defensive half. They're about 15. Carlton are right in the middle of a lot of teams. So that's kind of changed, heavily changed. It was at 17 at one stage when we were playing. Yeah.
Turnover differential. So that's okay. So Carlton have 3 more turnovers on average than their opponent, or 3 less turnovers?
We score 3 more points on average than the opposition.
From
so
turnover.
differential is what you've scored minus your opposition have scored against you.
Okay, so the Cats are 9 points better than us in that area.
Yep. So they're plus 12 of their opposition. Look at it that way. If their opposition scores 5, they'll score 17.7.
Gotcha.
If our opposition score 5, we'll score 8.2. So you can see the makeup.
Yeah.
And then as you go down, you can see Carlton have got Carlton's numbers make a lot of sense. So one of my bugbears at the minute, Dan Hoyne touches himself to this stat, absolutely winds me up. Carlton are the number 1 side at defending ball. Well, you can kind of explain it through the data points. Carlton are a heavy front half side, and then you look at the midfield and stoppage areas are pretty strong, which means Carlton effectively condense the ground. So what that does is it makes it hard to move the ball. But like everything, you've got to find the happy medium. When you win it back, it's hard to generate scores because there isn't any spread. You're all in the same area. So it's kind of like tuning a car almost. Carlton are trying to find that happy medium between being in and being too passive. So interesting stats because obviously, as you can see, can't hide. We've beaten 2 rubbish sides who are statistically horrible, but well-rounded. That Carlton's game plan is kind of there.
You know your stats here in the top half here. So the top square with disposals, turnover differential, stoppage differential, etc. Is this 2025 stats, or is this?
It's all games played now. So we work because we've got a nice selection now. We like to have 5 or more to try and find some patterns. That's for all 6 games played.
Gotcha. Great. I like when we get to this point because we're using the data from this season.
Yeah. And I always like the previous 10 matchups because 10's a really good system because AFL, roughly, you spend 4 years good, 4 years shit, 2 years working it out. That's a rough average, a very loose average. So the last 10 games kind of give you a real good comparison of succeeding and failing because it's usually over 4 years minimum, 5 years max. So you can see there, do you know what I mean? That I always look at the average winning margin because I think that takes you the best tail when one side's better than the other. So you can see it's not a massive disparity. If you think how many times have we played these guys, 5 years worth, go back 5 years, 2020, it's quite close. Innit? If you go back to 2020, we were an appalling side, if we're honest, weren't we?
Yeah, that was back in the day. Oh, 2020. What were we doing in 2020 against Geelong? What was that?
Brian.
Yeah. It wasn't until 2022 when we actually beat them. Did we beat them in 22? Yeah, we beat them in round 2, I reckon, that year.
Yeah.
We beat them in 2020? No.
Yeah, I think it was 2020 we beat them, looking back.
Oh, that was Eddie Betts' tackle. Oh, that's right. That was the Eddie Betts' tackle at GMHBA. Yeah, that was Sebastiani working at the bottle shop with the footage. Oh, yeah, damn.
Yeah, so if you go back like historically, it always gives you a good little catchment. I think the last 10 games, it gives you a good little catchment of what do these sides do because there is some fascinating sides that you'll see match up and they're rubbish.
Yeah.
Like they're rubbish, but they match up really well with a side that has historically been incredibly good all the time. Port versus Hawks is a real fascinating one to look at because invariably Port get the better of them.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how good either side's going. So always a good one to look at. It kind of tells you if there's like a shock. And you can see, unfortunately, our algorithm is very weighted towards recent results. So our algorithm is like the miserable guy on a Carlton forum. It does literally say, you only beat Eagles and North. Like, well done. What do you want? Blue Peter badge. So it's not a bad result. 2 goals. So it's very manageable because Carlton have improved algorithm-wise 13.3 per game. So if you actually do that and Carlton improve linearly, you could win this game.
Okay. Well, we are moments away. We should be getting teams any second now.
I
As
remember
in-
that 2020 game, actually. I'm just remembering now.
Yeah.
Do you remember we were clinging on for dear life?
Yeah. Were we up by... Oh, wow, we're at that point now where we've covered games that I'm now forgetting about. I remember Dirty Bet's tackle. I remember Mark Murphy kicking maybe an inside-out banana.
Boonana.
A Bunana, and I remember Paul Sebastiani's like CCTV footage from the bottle shop that he was working at.
Yeah, because if you remember from memory, they like kicked 5 goals in a row, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know if
Like we didn't do anything
night.
in that fourth quarter from memory.
Yeah, there was no fan cams.
I can't remember if I was live on that. For some reason, it feels like...
No,
what have been, like 5 years? No.
So fan cams didn't start until Jack Noon's, which was, I don't know, man.
You know what? I've just brought it up. Fuck that 5th quarter, right? So the Blues were 78-43 up, yeah?
Yeah.
The timeline of the 4th quarter, to remind you, Harry Taylor kicks the first 2 minutes in. Hawkins hits the post 5 minutes in. Buse kicks a goal. Silvani behind. Hawkins Mears behind from Gary Ablett. Tom Atkins goal. The game is 2 points for literally 35 seconds. I remember it now. Don't you remember? We were backs to the wall. That it was edging. Oh, mate, I remember that game.
Yeah, I do remember. I definitely do remember. Chat. If any of you, I should say, are watching Channel 7 and they give you updates on the teams, let us know. Channel 7 is on now. Pom, what did you do on team selection show? What was your guess?
I dropped Ollie Hollands and Fogarty.
Oh, for who?
Boyd and Lucas Camporelli is my sub because I was like, I'm sick of seeing Lord sub. So I was like, give the best performing VFL guy a spurt on it.
I like it.
And I caveated it because I was like, I don't want to bring Mackay back unless he's 100%. So I did it on the proviso that he's just done 1 training session. I was open to it though.
Okay. So apparently the extended teams are Mackay, Doc, and Cowan in, no outs. So, yeah.
Well, this shows a foregone conclusion because now everyone does it, don't they? Everyone tells the world the team on the Monday. So, I mean, the rumours are, aren't they? It's out, Young, Doc in, and the extended bench is just there for banter.
Right. Yep. Logan. So today was all about the extended teams. Tomorrow is when the final teams are announced because we're playing on Sunday. Or here we go. Here comes the meltdown. Here it comes.
I haven't done a team show since me and Letdo did it 2 years ago. So, like, it's good to see, chat, you haven't changed. But, I mean, now it's boring because people leak it because fans don't love the club anymore. So they release it all to the world because they don't actually love the club. Like, fans who leak are the same as Essendon fans. Do you know what I mean? They love Carlton the same. So it's kind of no fun. You can't be angry because I know on Tuesday it was posted by people.
True. I did get a message very early in the week that it would just be
Harry. Yeah, it's miserable now. It's a bit like I can't even get angry at the team because I know it evidently before Voss.
Yeah. Also, it's Damien. Love it when a man or a woman or a human being just brings logic to a chat.
It is Damien, though. Damien is Mr. Logic, to be fair. So
he is.
But, that's true. But genuinely, I don't want to be that guy, but you can't really be angry at the extended because the emergency's not going to do it, would it? Doc and Cowan aren't playing. Mackay. It's technically Mackay out in, Young out.
Pretty much.
Huge.
Here, let me share my screen. You got Harry on the thumbnail. Okay, so you just know.
So he's 1,000% playing.
Yeah. Harry, let me just put this here. Carlton's extended squad has been named for Sunday's Anzac Appeal Round clash. Ahead of their return to the MCG, the Blues have added 3 inclusions to the squad. Mackay, Cowan among the additions, who are both a test to play this weekend and will need to complete main training to be available. Mackay is recovering from concussion. Cowan has missed the last 2 games of the hamstring strain. The 2 are joined in the squad by Sam Docherty, who was omitted in last Friday night's win over North Melbourne. The final team will be announced tomorrow, 5 p.m. Oh.
Yeah, this happened yesterday. This is an AFL issue, by the way. It's not a Carlton issue. Yesterday, when Melbourne did their teams, they didn't actually go up on the website. It was just a blank page with an article going, huge return. Stephen May returns. And when you click the thing, there was no bloke there for like 6 hours.
All right, let's unpack this. So, Silvani Wiedering Sard, Chera named on the half-back line with McGovern and Nick Haynes, Walsh, Cripps, Ollie Hollins, Fogarty, Mackay named on field with Cottrell, Motlop, Kerno, Durden, DeConing, Zach Williams, Hewitt. Let's just take a mental picture of this for tomorrow. Interchange bench, Matt Carroll, Blake Acres, Will White, Elijah Hollins, Cooper Lord with Young, Cowan, and Docherty, the last 3 names there. So essentially it's going to be Harry in for Young.
Yeah, and Young, Cowan, Docherty, emergency. So you presume they'll hold one back. You'd imagine they hold Young back. Because I'd imagine the question mark is Wheater in Mackay. Because it says there, doesn't it? Mackay has to get through main training. Wheatering had that knock, so they'll keep Young.
Yeah.
Cowan and Doc will play VFL. And you'd presume Cooper Lord is sub again.
Yep. Who would you make as the sub? Would you just keep it as Cooper Lord, or would you? Well, wait, no. You said Camporelli, but seeing what you see here with the squad, what would your final teams be now?
No, I'm not a fan of. I know Cooper. There's the argument Cooper Lord needs to play senior football, learn the game, and stuff like that. Totally understand. But it's not helpful when you're playing 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, is it? Like here and there. I don't think that's great for your development. But I suppose it would have to be Cooper because I always presume the 18 on field are playing because it's only happened 4 times since we've done this stupid thing. It's only ever happened 4 times in the last 2 years. So, yeah, Cooper would have to be sub. I don't like it, though.
Fair.
I don't like it.
I'm mindful about Elijah. I'm pretty sure it was just a bit of rust. But I wouldn't be opposed to him being a sub, in theory.
Yeah, I mean, playing a full game last week and if you were doing it as runs in the board, it would be the most ridiculous thing to make him sub because he needs 90 minutes minimum for at least 3 weeks to get where he needs to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but then the same could be said about Cooper. I don't like it. Like, for me, I'd rather have someone a bit more dynamic. I don't mind him as sub, but not once. Not once, twice, 3, 4 times.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Extended teams.
Strong team, though. I mean, if you actually just do it yourself, out Young in Mackay, you can't complain. Like, if chat's been serious, 'cause I think chat's just winding you up, Terry. There's no way if out Young in Mackay gets gripes. Is there? Is there? Can't be.
I don't know. I've learnt to just not to expect anything from the chat. Anything at all.
No, surely, Terry, surely. Like, come on, chat. You need to explain this to Uncle Pom. You can't look at that team and see out Young in Mackay and be upset. Like, surely Because for 3 years I've had to defend Lewis Young. And you're telling me you'd rather have Lewis Young than Harry Mackay? Surely not. We haven't switched that much, have we?
Oh dear. Hey, you know what though? Shout out Lewis Young for playing a role when called upon. Shout out Lewis Young.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Lewis Young because, like, you can only do what you can do, can't you? Like, I don't think Lewis Young has told anyone he's Tony Lockett, has he?
Yeah.
I mean, he might have done. But you know what? Interesting ins though, isn't there? When you look at the Geelong team, you've got the Irish stallion, Uslin Mullin.
O'Sheen. Is that?
I do like a little bit. I do like a little bit of Oliver Wilshire. Like, honestly, he's a good looking boy, is old Ollie.
Yep. I'll share this tab instead. So,
if you look at Ollie, it's almost like they've found the final form in the long surfer boy haircuts. Like, it's literally like they've run out of drafting the same person, that they found the last available adaptation of what they always draft.
who do you think would come in for Brian Myers?
Tough
I don't know
one
who
because
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
Wiltshire. What? I'm not familiar with him.
Jack Wilshire or Ollie?
Ollie Wiltshire.
Yeah, so he was. I make myself laugh sometimes. But yeah, he's a little diminutive small forward. So he's kind of like Mears, but like imagine the Audi version of him. He's nippy, he's quick, he loves to kick a snag. He's an awkward guy. We've never really. It's his debut. It'll be his like first time we've seen him this year. But VFL, he's a pain. Can he step up to? I mean, he's got massive game against Carlton written all over him. I'll be honest. He's one of them players that if I start slagging him off, going, "No way, he's good enough to play AFL," I'm doing ratings and we're picking him out.
Still can't believe you turned Peter Laddams into an elite ruck one time.
If you want to see it, I can save you time. Go and watch the second half of the Box Hill game.
Uh-huh.
He was very good. He was very good.
All right.
But I'd guess, looking at them ins, if you held a gun to my head, I would say they play Mitch Duncan and I reckon Jay Clark.
Yeah.
Because Mears is no longer a small forward anymore. He's got like a sexier role, hasn't he?
He's like, well, Cottrell is our version of Myers, right?
Yeah, they've got that sexy role. So I'd imagine Duncan would be in and around the time side for a little bit of experience.
Man, I'm telling you, man, this game has vibes written on it, all over it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, different kettle of fish to the last time we played them, I think.
Yeah.
With how they play. Like, you look at Lawson Humphreys now, he is a big, big part of their side. When you look at it now, he used to be Tom Stewart, no one else, but you look now, Lawson Humphreys is getting a lot of that. Getting a lot of that ball. So it's a little bit of a different proposition. Stewart's more of I wouldn't say he's a role player, but he's definitely now got more of a defensive duty to him. Mm-hmm. And they're playing Lawson a bit more loose and having a bit of fun. SDK down back, I think that's intriguing because I've said it for a long time. He's a defender. He's not a ruckman. It's nice to see that happen. Be interesting as well, that Stanley Blitzarb's ruck combination. It's very awkward. We talk about that a lot on the review show. It's a deceptively awkward one because you look at it and you're like, that's bobbins. But Shannon Neal's 200 centimeters literally moves like a fucking tent. Like, that guy has no pace. Blitzarbs is nimble and Stanley's kind of just there and plays as an extra midfielder. So it's awkward for TDK in the terms of rhythm. He's going to have to change how he approaches it 2 or 3 times every quarter. So that's going to be an interesting one because that's where they get you. You saw them do it against Riley O'Brien. You saw it against Hawks as well. It's like they're always changing every time. It's always an interesting one, that, to watch.
Well, mate, there's your extended teams. Happy days. You're live tonight?
No, I'm not actually. Mrs. Pom had a word with me, so she wanted me to change my fixture in. And you know what? Pommy and Oz channel, we're all about Mrs. P, I'm afraid. So we are live tomorrow night. We're doing that game. What other game? Oh, and I'm doing the Saints Brisbane game because I've had a lot of complaints from Brisbane fans that evidently I hate Queenslanders.
You're doing tomorrow. You're doing Fremantle Adelaide, you mean, or you're doing the Anzac game?
Fremantle Adelaide tomorrow. I'm doing Freo Adelaide because we're doing something in the morning for Anzac, and then Saturday we're doing St Kilda Lions, and then Sunday I'll be all your guys and girls, and we'll be watching 4 points, 3 Brownlow votes. Cue it.
Carlton boys on a bender.
Mate, I'm looking forward to this one. I feel like we're going to learn a lot about our beautiful boys. I'm very excited. You know what? Very excited.
I am too. Before I let you go, have you seen the Geelong injury list?
Do I want to be sick?
Let me show you.
Oh, have you got it up? I was just going to say, I'll just go on AFL's website and see their little...
I was talking about it with Ari last night, right?
Oh, Jack Martin's on there.
Well, if Carlton did this, TBC, how do you think that'd go down with us?
Yeah, we used to say this, though, on Teams, and Carlton fans didn't believe me, because I keep a spreadsheet for our fantasy league where it's all manual.
Uh-huh.
The amount of clubs that lie and change the dates subtly, it's like every club does it as well. Like, I feel like Carlton, it's just because we really focus on it, but most clubs do it as well. Like, it's a funny thing. When it's like a 1 to 5 week, that goes to like 2 to 6 quite quickly as well. But yeah, the TBC is interesting in it, but they've got a lot of weird injuries, haven't they? Like, I can explain it. Like Cam Guthrie's Achilles, he's had an Achilles since 1992. So I don't actually think they know. Mitch Edwards, there's rumours going around at Barwin Heads that he's actually disappeared.
Oh.
I mean, Tanner Braun, we can't talk about. Cillian Burke, he's nearly dead. And Jack, I mean, the least surprising one is Jack Martin, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's no information on it, but I think we all had that fear of Jack Martin going to Geelong and just being healthy, which he still might. I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping for the best for him.
I hope he plays, but like my mate is a Geelong fan, my old boss who nearly got to be a Cats fan, and he was texting going, "Can't wait for you to watch and cry into your flat beer when he's kicking snags in the finals." And I was like, if he makes it to the finals, I'll freaking buy a Geelong membership. And it's just hilarious that he has actually got a slight niggle within 6 weeks of being there. I was like, see, told you.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. All right. Well, mate, we are ready. We are ready for round 7. Kind of. I'll be live. Oh, tomorrow's the game. I might pop in for a quick live at like 4:30.
Yeah, the times are fucked this week, aren't they?
Yeah, because the game's on tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll pop in for a quick live tomorrow, 4:30, 4:45-ish. Get the final teams at 5 p.m. Out of here.
I think the AFL, from memory, last Anzac Day, they timed it so half-time is when the teams are announced. I could be wrong, but I am pretty sure I remember watching the Anzac game and then at half-time watching the team news come through. Because it would make sense, because it's usually, usually, yeah. So, yeah, it would be roundabout just then, mate. Half-time.
All right. Chat, thank you very much. Pommy, thank you very much. See you soon.
Car Blues, bring it home.